A long serpentine creature with the face of a cat reared up from behind a boulder. It hissed. My instinct was to run, but I knew I couldn't outrun it. Thinking quickly, I reached for the nearest stick. As it lunged, I thrust the stick into the side of the beast. It went limp, dead. The blood spilled onto my leg and began to burn. What was this monster?
Hello, and welcome to episode number 14 of Counting Cryptids.
We're your host, Connor and Jacob.
I'm Jacob. I don't know where this soft-spoken radio voice of yours came from.
I don't know. I've had some crap in my throat lately, and my voice has been really low.
So for the last year...
compared to normal.
It's now. Okay, I thought you were going to say the last year you had some crap in your throat.
No. The last couple of days or so.
It's a very smooth podcast we have in store for you today, folks.
I've got a voice double.
This is one that you just leave on for your dogs at home when you're at work. We are becoming
Yes.
NPR. No, I'm definitely not going to continue that because that hurts my face.
Do you want to start over?
No, I'm fucking cool with it. It's all right.
Today, we are talking about the Tatzelwurm, also known as a Stollenwurm, and this one was suggested to us via Vanessa on Facebook.
Hey, thanks for the suggestion.
Vanessa.
Because I had
You're
never
awesome.
heard of this one.
Neither
and
have
it
I.
is cool as hell.
Surprisingly, okay, we talk about this, I think, every episode.
Every time, wow, I've never heard of this.
Never heard
Do
of
you
it.
even know what cryptids are at all, Jacob?
Bunch of information. Heard of it? Garbage.
Yeah, right?
Garbage
Yes,
information.
that has been the trend. So I do Tatzelwurm translates roughly to clawed worm. I also saw Alps dragon as another name.
So in France, they know that they call it the Aras, Arass. Tyrol, wherever that is, they call it the springworm.
Like a spring roll, but a worm.
Just springworm.
I'm
Tasty.
never going to look at spring rolls the same again. If you
Yeah.
are on that same boat, you can find me over on social media where you can get mad at me for that.
I think Switzerland is where most of the ones that we know of are from.
I think we kind of focus
Stolen
on that
worms.
one because that's, again, the name that we were looking up was
Right.
specifically for that region. It did mention there's all these names, and it's just known across Europe with regional variants of the name.
So we also got Austria. They've got Lindworm or Pratzelwurm. Slovenia, Kuchke. Did I nail that?
Sure, I really
Somebody
like
in
the
Slovenia tell me how
I
good
know
my
it's not
pronunciation
pretzel worm,
was.
but that's what I hear every time I see
yeah.
that pretzel worm.
Pretzel worms. The dazzleworm, hawkworms, and then in Scandinavia, they know it as a lindorm. Lindorm.
Lindorm.
Lindorm.
Like the chocolates?
The lindorm worms.
I think
Chocolates.
it's Lindorf. I'm just making dad jokes already.
Oh,
Buckle in.
man. Already drinking. Obviously, you can catch these in, the European countries like the Swiss Alps, Italy, Austria, Bavaria. Lots of different places in that area.
So I pulled up the lindworm.
Yes, Lindor
And-
truffles.
No. Its appearance can vary from country to country and from tail to tail.
Yeah.
But the most common depiction of lindworm is a wingless lindworm. A wingless lindworm.
What? That's like defining a
word with a word, yeah.
word.
With a serpentine body and a dragon-like head. So I'm guessing this is just a typo.
Yeah, not incorrect.
Yeah, probably. Okay. But the most common form of these motherfuckers is a serpent-like body with a dragon-like head, scaled or reptilian skin, and 2 clawed arms in the upper body. So to me,
A
that just
dragon-like
says a
head
dragon.
or a cat-like head?
It says dragon.
Weird.
Because a serpentine body and a dragon-like head, to me, I just see a dragon.
Yeah, you just described
It's just like
a
the
dragon.
it's like the I believe the Chinese ones were the 2-legged ones.
Mm-hmm. He has stubby legs, no wings.
Well, we're talking about dragon specifically. We actually did a dragon episode that never saw the light of day. I think we
Thank
recorded
God.
it 3 times because we kept having issues with stuff.
Quick update. GarageBand is recording both tracks.
Hey, good news.
I saw a lot of people play. I saw a lot of people say that it's got a cat-like face, which I believe in the post on Facebook, Vanessa mentioned that. I think that's what piqued my
I remember.
interest there. Interesting cat-faced dragon.
Yes, my description was a chimera or dragon-like creature featuring the body of a serpent and the head of a cat. Typically described as aggressive. Reports on attacking livestock and sometimes humans.
Yeah, apparently they're pretty vicious. I had that it can breathe out poisonous fumes and its blood is acid. Not the good kind.
Oh, not the man-made kind?
No, not that kind.
Like the predator kind? I was right.
Yeah.
Predator's blood was acid? Is that real? Or is that alien? Oh, Christ. I'm having a crisis of conscience.
We should talk about movies because I haven't seen either of those.
I type in alien blood. What comes up? I mean, there's like a green splatter that's melted through something. Fuck it, you know what I mean? Again, take to social media
acid,
and
bro.
crucify me for not remembering my movie references.
He won't read it anyways.
So something about the legs that's kind of weird is in some spots I have seen that it has 2 legs. In others, I've seen that it has 4 legs, like 2 forelegs.
Two
front legs. In other ones, I've seen that it just has like 4 legs. And in one place, I saw that it had 6 legs. Well, up to 6, which means that there's maybe an instance of 5.
Or 3.
Kind of a tripod situation.
1 through 6. There's 1 through 6 legs.
It's at least got 1 leg.
Yeah.
It just hops around. I apologize if you only have 1 leg. However many feet it has, they are said to have 3 toes, each with sharp claws. It's around 7 feet in length. Like you said, sometimes, or it's said to be poisonous breath.
Yeah, I had seen 5 to 7 feet.
Be venomous. Okay, yeah.
Pretty large.
Oh, we got a noise on this one too, though. It makes a high-pitched hissing noise. I think it needs to be higher pitched.
I can't go higher.
We can fix that in post. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll just bump that up.
Something that confused me a lot is I saw one site specifically focus on the neck. It had a very short to no neck at all, which is confusing as fuck to me when talking about serpents.
I also read one that said it had a short tail. I'm like, it's all tail, man.
That's the thing. It's all neck, it's all tail. They're both one in this instance. Both of them are very short, but the whole thing itself is 7 feet long.
Yes. But
I'm already confused, Connor.
The tail is only 2 feet, though. Neck is non-existent. So the mid portion of the tail body is 5 feet long.
Okay, looking at this photo, I kind of see a neck region, and I kind of see a more defined tail region. I'll make sure I post this one.
Especially if it has front
Cryptids
legs,
wiki.
at least you can have an idea where those things start. But if it has no legs, there's no indication of what is what without cutting it open to find out where its guts are. I'm not a scientist, but
I'm not a scientist, but I like to dissect things.
I don't. I don't think that I ever dissected a worm like most people have.
You mean a frog?
Frog.
I dissected a worm.
I think we definitely did a worm.
Yeah. I think they did frogs, but I was in school suspension that day, so I didn't have to do it. I also saw that it's primarily believed to have smooth skin, but there are a few reports of small scales all over its body.
I think I saw mostly scales.
Really?
Yeah, I scales covering head to toe. Feline head to toe. Tail, I guess. Doesn't have.
You said feline head to tail. That means cat.
Yes. I'm sticking to my cat-headed dragon.
I don't get where scales come from if it's feline from head to toe.
I don't either.
Okay.
Moving
on.
Like a cat.
I saw almost all reports consisted of a short, blunt, unlizard-like tail.
What does that even mean? Again. unlizard-like?
They saw it and they're like, that doesn't look like I would describe it as a lizard's tail.
Like a skink's tail?
Well, again, in the same photo I referred to before from the Cryptid Wiki, it kind of almost has like feathers on the tail.
Oh.
Honestly, it looks like if you just took a dragon and then you put like a cat's face on it.
I like this picture from Cryptid Wiki. It's like
literally probably the exact one I've been talking about.
I like it.
The green one where it's like hanging in the tree.
Yeah, it's very
good
snake-like.
picture. We'll make sure that one gets on there. In one place, I saw green in color and covered in mucus. In another, I saw gray in color.
I've seen gray or like brown or earthy colors.
We already talked about the blood being lava.
The blood is lava.
Yes, exactly. Not scared by people.
Nope.
Said to charge and attack those in its path. Sometimes taking large leaps through the air, accounting for the name spring worm or jumping worm. If you are misfortunate enough to see this creature, it is said to have a ferocious bite.
Do you think it like coils up and then launches?
It's probably like a snake, like it would wait in a tree.
Like,
I also feel like I never saw mentions, like it talks about it jumping. I never saw it anywhere, but in my mind, it can fly.
I mean,
because
like an Asian dragon.
Yes, like the way that a dragon can fly, like it just does.
Yeah, definitely.
When I see it, I'm like, yeah, that bitch flies for sure.
Doesn't have
But I
wings,
gotta
but
remember,
it
I
definitely
never saw that
flies.
in it's just jumping.
Interesting. I don't know that it makes any sense to have two front legs. So a lot of the pictures that you see are front leg. Actually, a lot of the pictures on Google are just skinks.
See, this is kind of Pokemon-esque as well.
I like it.
Like, again, I feel like Vaporeon is just every single fucking thing rolled up into one.
It's a Doarku Tatzelwurm.
This drawing especially is reminiscent of such.
Yeah. Yep.
It's missing a couple of legs and it's not blue. That's it.
I mean, that's what Pokemon is.
Mm-hmm. It hibernates during the winter in crevices on mountainsides, supposedly, which has also lent to the German name Stollenwurm, which in the beginning, a worm that lives in holes is the rough translation of that. If you speak German, find me on Facebook. I'm just going to do that 8 times this episode. That's my goal now. I think I'm at 3 or 4.
These are from the internet, so obviously they're correct.
I saw at least one occasion of a farmer finding one sleeping in his hay barn.
Oh, yeah.
Hibernating in there, I guess.
I'm assuming it sleeps during the day and comes out at night.
It was when it was hibernating during the winter, allegedly. One farmer reported killing a Tatzelwurm that was hibernating in his hay barn, at which point a green liquid drained out of its mouth.
That acid blood.
It just said a green liquid. It never said anything about it like melting anything. So I don't know if that was maybe a different
it just has green blood.
Instance or what the deal is. Yeah, green blood is weird though. Like that's not a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing. I don't know a whole lot about blood, but I'm pretty sure
they appear to be like terrestrial though, if you can just like kill it. They may be difficult to kill, but it appears to be like again, like pretty much everything that we've done is, other than like the first 2 maybe, it was like a silver tipped axe and probably a silver bullet, or maybe just any weapon. But some guy stabs it with a sharpened stick, like kills it that way. Well, should we get into some stories then? While we'll kick it off with that one, though. That is not the first one. Yeah, well, just let's hear about this the stick poke. So this story tells of a man and his son gathering herbs on the mountainside, a.k.a. the devil's lettuce. I get it. Father-son marijuana picking time. The father ran over when the son screamed, and he was paralyzed in fear, apparently. The father noticed when he got over there was a gruesome, quote, gruesome monster under the rock near his son, which hissed like a snake and had the face of a cat with large glowing eyes. So the father... What I would say is that cats also hiss. Yes. If the only thing about it being a serpent was that it hissed and had a cat face. cats definitely make a hiss sound.
Are you saying it's a cat? Probably.
I'm just if that's
Cats live in mountains. So
they do. I'm just putting that out there.
5 to 7 feet. I'd be a little big.
7's a little bit long, but you know who sucks at estimating the size of things?
Every person alive.
Thank you for remembering that from whatever episode that was.
So this is the story where the father stabs the cat like dragon.
The worm.
Saved it.
The Tatzelwurm.
The Tatzelwurm. And it squirted blood on his legs. The acid blood.
The acid blood did it.
Burned his legs.
Yep. Okay.
When he stabbed it with the creature. So you can kill it with a stick, but you got to watch out for the squirting blood.
All right.
Apparently,
so it'd be
it resulted
super hard
in like
to
a
shoot.
limp. I mean, you could 5 to 7 feet long.
Oh, I mean,
you
if
could
it did
probably
like
shoot
actual like tissue damage or like muscle damage, you know what I'm saying? Like if it actually ate through something, like yeah, that'd fuck you up for good.
Oh yeah.
Especially for an old man, you're not going to recover like you would if you were young.
Good luck getting down that mountain with all that weed.
If he was young. I don't think he's worried about the weed anymore. His kid's dead.
Yeah, apparently.
What year was this?
I didn't have a year. This was just a story I found. Just a story within the collection of stories. If you want, we're going to cover some here today. But
there's a lot on this one, surprisingly. Like everything that I don't seem to know anything about.
I found a ton of mine on cryptids.wikia.com.
A very good place for pretty much everything.
Pretty much, especially, cryptid stuff, obviously. Don't try and look up, like, your math homework on Cryptids Wikia.
I mean, you could, but it would be like Bigfoot plus...
algebra.
The answer would be Al Bielek or something. You want to hit up the first story then real quick, since we just talked about the random poking it with a stick?
Yeah, that was a random poking it with a stick story.
Over there.
Over there. One of the first documented encounters of the Tatzelwurm took place in 1779, when 2 of these cat dragons appeared in front of a man named Hans Fuchs.
Yep.
Fuchs. Prove me wrong.
Is that Fox? Fox?
Hans Fuchs.
Fox.
Fox. I can't say it without it sound like farts. Hans Fuchs. He was so frightened when he saw these 2 cat monsters battling that he had a heart attack and died.
Yeah, shitty.
Super shitty. He did describe the creature to his family before he died.
Okay.
Yeah.
You say so?
I did.
I had seen
if I had to have guessed, he had a heart attack and then died of complications in a couple of days, like he didn't just drop dead from the heart attack.
There's different kinds of heart attacks also, I recently learned. There's ones that are like worse than others.
Yes.
And then like when you have them, like you can be having your heart attack and like still like not really know. Like that's really common for people to just be like, yeah, I don't know, I kind of just like have a little bit of chest pain. And
I feel like that would be me. Somehow he described the creature that caused him to have a heart attack to his family before he died of the heart attack that he had when he saw this.
Yeah.
He described it as a creature with that was about 6 feet long, so that's right in there with most of the other accounts. Snake-like body, clawed front legs, and a large feline-like head with sharp teeth.
Maybe it's a weird weasel.
Definitely could be. I feel like we should probably find out if weasels are native.
Yeah, probably. I had also seen that one of his family members drew a picture of it based on his description, which was the first drawing of it. I have not yet been able to find it. If I can before this one gets out, I will make sure I link to that. But speaking of pictures, I think there was 2 other ones.
So in 1836, in the Bavarian hunting manual called New Pocket Guide Guild of the Year 1836 for nature, forest, and hunting enthusiasts.
There is some of the best names in these. They're just the longest titles, whether it be books, movies, songs, encyclopedias. Dude. Yeah, shit like that, man. It's all... I don't actually say encyclopedia that way. I'm just trying to... He had just said the word, so I had to say it differently. Anyway.
I would definitely. When I write a book, if I ever write a book, it's going to have a long ass title. So
it's like that Coheed and Cambria album. Good Apollo, I'm Burning Star 5, Volume 1, From Fear Through the Eyes of Madness.
I like it.
Anywho.
So in the new Pocket Guild of the year 1836 for nature forests and hunting enthusiasts, there's a picture of a Tatzelwurm, which Bernard Huvelmans describes the picture as a short, scaly cigar. He describes the picture as a sort of scaly cigar with formidable teeth and wretched little stumps of feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we find the photos for these, I found one of them. I'll make sure I get the right one.
Yeah,
we'll make sure we link to anything that we find. Was the other one, was that the one that we found, or was the other one the one that we found?
I don't recall.
Whatever. You want to do the other one too?
Yeah. So there's also another picture of the Tatzelwurm that was published in the Swiss Almanac Alpenrose in 1841. And again, the picture shows a long, scaly creature with two tiny front legs.
What was the year?
1841.
Okay.
There's a third picture, actually.
Yeah, that was the one I was talking about, wasn't it?
Balkan. This is the Balkan one, finally.
Oh.
I had multiple. So in more recently, I mean, this is the most recent one I've... Is that it? Is that it?
It's from the Almanac.
Oh. Okay,
Looks like a fish.
That. We'll post that. So the most recent one, in 1954, a Swiss photographer named Balkan didn't give me any more name than Balkan. He claimed to have a picture taken of the Tatzelwurm, though I have not been able to find said picture.
What was the year on that?
1954.
I have in the 1960s a photographer. Okay. He said he emerged was supposedly taken. I don't have a name on who did this. It was given to the Geneva paper from a source unknown.
It's a different one.
Most researchers and cryptozoologists who have seen the photo are in agreement that it's probably a hoax. Most likely by a mayor of a Bavarian town attempting to attract tourists.
Yeah. I saw that a skeleton was anonymously donated to the Geneva Institute of Science, and that the only thing left of that skeleton was a picture that I couldn't find a picture of the skeleton that had been donated there. But yeah, it appeared like a creature with two clawed arms and a larger than normal head, apparently.
Was that in the year 2000?
Sometime in the 1900s. Literally what it said.
I have in 2000, a strange skeleton was forwarded to a local college. Some scientists said that at the time it was the first physical proof of the alpine Tatzelwurm. Along with the skeleton came a sizable donation. The original owner of the skeleton remains a mystery. A law firm in Gunterhaus in Germany handled the donation and refused to divulge the information of the contributor or why the Geneva Institute was selected to be the recipient.
That's very strange.
So we got that's
Two
clearly
different
the exact same story because it did say Geneva.
Yeah.
So somebody's got their years screwy is what I'm guessing.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about a donation in the original story, but
I have
that's interesting.
In 1992, naturalists found a skeleton of a lizard-like animal in the Alps near Domastalla, Italy. Most of the ones I have is just like a real.
Yeah. In this, another piece of evidence now considered to be a hoax was the discovery of a Tatzelwurm skeleton said to have been mysteriously donated to the Geneva Institute of Science sometimes in the 1900s. This is in the same Cryptids Wikia page. The skeleton, only known by a single photograph, appears to be that of a long snake-like creature with two clawed arms and a larger-than-normal head. It is not certain who donated the skeleton or if it was ever donated to anyone at all. The majority of the researchers believe the photograph and the story behind it to be a hoax. I feel like this is Geneva.
But the law firm, supposedly, all the stories that I'm running off of this, too, are straight from that Cryptid Wiki. Because they're just like real quick, just like date, someone saw it. So I figured, great, this is exactly what we need.
This is literally what we do.
In July 1883, or maybe 1884, Caspar Arnold allegedly saw a Tatzelwurm on Spielberg near, Hochfilzen, somewhere in Austria. Allegedly, he watched it from a mountain restaurant for 20 minutes and was certain that it only had 2 legs.
Okay.
Summer of 1921, a 2-legged Tatzelwurm leaped 9 feet in the air towards 2 witnesses near Rauis, again, somewhere in Austria. This one was gray, about 2 to 3 feet long, and had a cat-like head.
In 1924, the 5-foot-long skeleton allegedly was found by 2 men. The skeleton resembled a lizard. They found a fucking 5-foot-long lizard skeleton.
Monitor lizard, perhaps?
Perhaps. I've got more about monitor lizards later.
Good.
Actually, they're not monitors. Gila monsters.
Oh.
Gila monsters.
I have that Balkan one from 1934.
Yep. I'm literally...
in the summer of 1969, a local man reported a 30-inch long animal with 2 hind legs near Lengstein, somewhere in Italy. It seemed to be inflating its neck, which is the only... A 30-inch long is like, again, don't you think that's just like a lizard?
I think that's somebody just describing their penis. So this Swiss girl working on her farm, Swiss girl working on a Swiss farm, not
like
cheese,
a cheese? Oh,
not the cheese. She was cutting down bean poles. While doing so, she accidentally disturbed the burrow of a Tatzelwurm and was attacked. According to this story, the Tatzelwurm glared at the girl with bright eyes, and the girl fled. That's it. Pretty uneventful.
You got a little William Shatner there at the end. As recently as 2009, many reports were made in Tresivio, in the Tresivio area of Italy near the Swiss border. Authorities chalked up most of these reports to, quote, missing monitor lizards.
Okay.
That had escaped from their masters. Some of the sightings were even said to be of raptors, like dinosaurs. Only the oldest resident of this place called the mysterious creature by the name they knew them as Basilisco or Basilisk. It was the Italian name for the Tatzelwurm.
Oh, it's a new name.
The creature almost faded into non-existence is, again, what this, again, coming from Cryptids Wikia, where all of those dated ones come from.
But yeah, sightings have continued till this day, apparently. And cryptozoological researcher Ulrich Magen has posted several articles in 14 Fortean Times and his own magazine Bilk, documenting these more recent sightings of the Tatzelwurm. Pretty weird.
This one's fucking weird for sure.
Yeah, thanks, Vanessa, because I would have never found this on my own.
Actually, this is amazing.
Interesting. Very interesting. Some people believe that the Tatzelwurm is just a rare salamander, similar to a Gila monster, which prefer underground burrows in mountainous areas, so that fits, but they're not native to the region. But the Gila monsters are one of the world's only venomous lizards. So, you know, the poison fumes and poison, the acid's blood. I mean, it could be a Gila monster. Though, I don't know how they would get there. I mean, I guess if there was a rare salamander with the characteristics of a Gila monster, it's possible. But that's interesting to me. Also never been in a mountain, really, so I don't know what kind of things are up there. 5 to 7 feet for a lizard seems very large for a, like, Okay, that is very large. I feel like it'd eat like a mountain lion.
But okay, so 7 feet long, like it's going to be like a big. I feel like an iguana, like with its tail.
I mean, they're still very large, though.
Okay, what's the difference
Maybe
between a
not
monitor lizard? Because I asked how big a monitor lizard was. It says monitor lizard, reptile. Then underneath it, mass Komodo dragon, length Komodo dragon. This is not. Oh shit, Komodo dragon's only 8.5 feet. I feel like those things are big because they eat like ox.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just pulling up fucking Komodo dragons when I'm typing stuff monitor lizards, which is really unfortunate because I've looked up monitor lizards before and did not have this issue.
Komodo dragons are huge. Huge, I tell you.
Huge. All right, do you have any more on your list, or?
So I was reading at the bottom of the Cryptids Wikia page,
Mhm.
where they have the comments section, and the commenter Legends Awaken referred to a four-legged snake known as the Tetrapodophis. Could definitely be the cause for some confusion of like the skeletons. It is one of the only, I think it might be the only snake in existence with limbs, like 4 limbs. It also had a elongated body, a short snout with the sharp hooked teeth.
And how big was it?
15 centimeters long.
That's small.
Seems rather small.
It's 5 inches.
Yeah, so
Almost 6.
I think what Legends Awakened was saying was that it could have like evolved into a new species that was much larger, though I don't see a reason for it to do so.
What I will say is that there is something called a Mexican mole lizard.
Mexican mole lizard?
Yes, it is.
Mexican jumping beans?
Commonly known as the 5-toed worm lizard. Basically, it has two arms. Is all I was really going to talk about. It's got the 2 legs.
What was that?
In front. The Mexican mole worm.
Mexican mole worm.
But it doesn't get very big, up to 9 inches, like 9.4. The 4 legs are strong and paddle. It says while the hind legs have disappeared, leaving behind only vestigial bone visible in X-rays. So yes, they only have 2 still. So it can happen. It's not native to the area, but could it be some sort of ancient thing that also evolved into something that only had 2 or always had 2? Well, I guess that would have had to evolve from something with 4 if it has bones.
Yeah. I don't know how evolution works. Charles Darwin, I'm poking holes in your evolution theory.
Because you don't know how it works, there's no holes poked.
I don't know.
Just the one in your brain. Okay.
Not just my brain.
Where are you at on this, man?
I mean, if you pull up a picture of a skink, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to decide if I think it looks cat-like. It looks like a skink.
I feel that a cat face is pretty different than a lizard face.
100%.
The only one that like I could maybe see would be like the one that you have. Like a horned dragon? Is that what they're called?
Dragon.
Bearded dragon, there you go.
I guess.
Because they have that, like, I don't know, they look like they're smiling when they have, like, their mouth open sometimes.
But they're really pissed off. It's great.
Yeah. But I don't see anything that I'm like, yeah, that looks like a cat. I just looked up lizard face.
Yeah.
And confusing a cat face, and again, like, is this, like, a misidentification of, like, some weird cat? I can see missing legs on a reptile, like not being able to see them from where you're at, but I feel like on a cat being able to see the front legs and not the back. See, like polecats don't get that big either, and weasels and stuff. You know what I mean?
5 to 7 feet is that's large for a cat or a lizard.
As ferocious as a ferret is, as small as those things are, dude. I can't believe a 7-foot ferret. That would suck ass.
That'd be awful. We talked about large bunnies the other day, last episode. But God, a large lizard or cat. Either of those things need to be.
Big cats exist, buddy.
I know. I'm not around
So do big
them.
lizards.
I'm not around these things.
I find it okay. What I will say is that I find it unlikely that it is still alive today. Whether or not one existed, I'm very hard pressed. I like this one a lot.
I do too.
I really do. This guy's cool as hell. I don't. Again, you have these weird, like, elongated cats that do exist. Polecats, weasels, stuff like that. Those exist. They definitely. I don't know of any mammals that only have 4 legs.
You don't know any
not
mammals
FOUR.
Oh, okay.
Like front legs,
Damn.
4 legs. The humans have 2, but like they're on our bottom.
Yeah, we're
half.
bipedal.
We're not. Yeah, exactly. We're not like trying to go around on all 4s, but only have 2 legs and dragging our ass everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, it's.
But aliens might. They're aliens. They're sentient feline lizard beings.
Where are you at? What do you think?
Oh, dude, this is so hard. I don't get how you could get a lizard face mixed up with the cat's face at all.
I don't either.
And you've got to think these people see lizards. The lizards are native to where they are from.
Well, the things that we're looking at, the pictures that were drawn were in like encyclopedias and things where there would have been other reptiles and snakes and lizards and things of that nature. Like, could it be something where it's like really long with like the back legs that are farther back in a weird way that you never see them and they're much smaller? Yeah, like I don't. Fuck, man, I don't know.
It's the cat-like head that throws me, not
the cat head.
legs.
Is really what throws me and turns this entire thing into a dragon. Like
Yeah,
I don't.
Dragon.
And the picture that we've been referencing since the beginning, there's like whiskers on the cat face and hair, like it's like a full-on cat, but it's not a cat. It's fucked, man.
Even that skeleton that I was looking at, I don't even know if it was a skeleton of a Tatzelwurm. There's a one on Pinterest for some reason.
Yeah, I see it.
That
It's definitely
like
interesting, but what I 150% will say,
big.
that is not the face of a cat.
No, that's like a crocodile mouth.
Yeah, that's like a reptile. Let me see.
The thing with skeletons is, I read something today. George Washington didn't know dinosaurs existed because the first fossil wasn't uncovered until like
it's so fucking recent.
It's
disgusting,
dude.
My entire life, I was like, oh yeah, they've been around forever.
Yeah,
this is just something that we've known about. Does that mean it was removed from history at some point?
I mean, it wasn't in history. It just wasn't. It didn't.
But people
happen.
found stuff,
and that's where maybe
you get some
like
of these weird.
come.
Well, this doesn't seem to be the case, really. You have a couple of skeletons getting dug up, but this isn't like indigenous peoples. This is like, well, not the. Yeah, no, it's not because. Well, shit. I mean, not that it's not indigenous peoples, but you know what I mean. It's not like
it's
they're still like a modern society at that point. Like they're it's different. Shut up.
That works every time.
Yeah, the other one it does more resemble a reptilian skull, like an alligator, even. That's cool as fuck.
Yeah, that is red.
Yeah, I'm again looking at this one. The skull doesn't look like anything, and I don't see where that would equal a cat, based on the way that a cat skull looks. So I'm gonna say that skeleton is bogus, probably all hoaxed.
Yeah,
the arms maybe don't go with it, and neither does the skull. Like it's combining like a couple of different things.
Easily could you just say that?
Because that was a huge thing with dinosaurs too. Because there was the 2 main guys finding everything.
Yeah,
and then they were just going to war with each other, trying to they were going to sabotaging the other people's sites. they would plant fake things and then be like, no, that's not real, stupid. They'd like have an existing one and they'd be like, no, that doesn't go there. This goes here or whatever. Or they'd add 3 things to it and be like, no, this is actually a completely different one. It's actually bullshit. If you look into some of that, maybe dinosaurs fucking aren't real, dude. Like, it's kind of crazy. Owen based his definition of the 3 earliest dinosaur fossil discoveries, Megalothesaurus, Iguanodon, and Heliothesaurus, all discovered in southern England between 1824 and 1832.
Okay, so I was under the impression that it was like 1900s.
Well, that might be like slightly differently defined. I'm looking to see if there's something that's like...
Yeah, 1824.
No, because the Bone Wars was in the 80s.
1824 was when, between the 1824 and the 32s, I believe, are the first ones.
I was going to say, no, there's no way that's quite right, but it is much more recent than you think. One thing that I forgot to mention in this episode also is part of this reminds me of Falcor from the Neverending Story.
Falcon Punch.
But he's like the dog version of it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
You had to show me that picture before we started.
Yeah, Connor didn't.
I didn't.
I referenced Atreyu, and he thought I was talking about the band. So
who doesn't? Who doesn't think that?
I mean, I feel like the majority of people in the world don't know the band Atreyu versus knowing the Neverending Story. But maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know either.
Take to social media to answer this week's poll. All right. Off the fence. Where you at? I keep trying to get you to fucking fully answer.
You do, and we keep getting off track, and I still don't know. I'm gonna go with that. It's just misidentification of either a cat or a lizard, and the stories have just permeated through time. Like,
what about the acid blood?
Acid blood is weird.
A poisonous cat?
I mean, it definitely
venomous cat?
Definitely could have just been a plant. The guy's got some poison plant on him. I don't know what kind of poison plants are in the Alps.
I don't think the kinds that melt through your skin.
They don't have any of that wild parsnip.
I think that blisters. That doesn't melt your skin.
No, probably not. But it's brutal. It's something. It's got to be something. There's something out there. There's tons of different stories of that.
What if it has like the flaps? I never saw a mention of the flaps. I'm just saying, what if the flaps are misidentified as like
Whisker
the kind
types.
of part on the cat that comes
see
out,
that.
or whiskers or something like that? So if you have some, like, maybe there's like a very rare species of lizard that is elongated so you can't see its back legs, or maybe altogether doesn't have back legs, and its face, like when it looks like that under a rock in the shade when you're out in the sun or whatever the situation is, you see it for a quarter of a second, you turn to run.
Yeah. I think that maybe we're thinking that people think of whiskers when they think of a cat face.
I never saw specific mention of that other than
it just
a
looks
cat
like a
face.
cat
I
face.
didn't,
I
again,
don't know
no
what they mean
definition
by that.
past that.
It's a lizard.
It seems to me to be a lizard as well.
If you could just stab it with a stick, it's not 5 to 7 feet long. I'll give you that right now. You can just stab it right now and it dies. Though I don't know that story specifically mentioned that it died. He just stabbed it and it squirted blood on him. So I don't know if it died, but
I assumed it did.
I also did as well.
You still haven't got off the fucking fence.
It's a lizard.
Okay.
It's a lizard. It's probably a skink of some sort.
It does seem to be a lizard. I will say technically it does exist. I think people are actually seeing something. I think it's just a misidentification of a lizard. Whether or not the lizard is now extinct or was very rare and unique to begin with, I can't say. It kind of seems like it was maybe a little bit different. I don't know all of the flora and fauna of the region, so it's hard for me to rule all that shit out. So I kind of got to make generalizations.
Yeah.
But
if you told me something like that existed in Iowa, I probably wouldn't believe you as much as a place I've never been.
100%.
But
And I I think part of the issue is like I see a lot of dragon in this in the two describing things, and I know we did the episode, but we'll have to probably do a better one and actually get one out there at some point.
Maybe regional specific dragons or something.
Yeah, shit, I don't
so
know.
many
There's
dragons,
a lot, and it's
so
hard
many
to
cultures.
know where to begin on that, and it's like, yeah, it's rough. But there's a lot of there's dragon like shit everywhere too. So it's again, this is a little bit different, but at the same time, that's just what I envision. Maybe I need to think of it more like a snake or something, but still badass. Thank you again for the episode suggestion.
Definitely.
Love it.
Also, Vanessa posted something on the Facebook page or the Facebook group the other day about where everybody's from. So if you are part of that, definitely let us know where you're from.
Go join and let us know where you hail.
So far, it's been crazy to see how many people are from different places.
It's a really wide spread too. Honestly, I was very surprised. If you had a fistful of darts and threw them at a globe while it was spinning,
probably landed in an area where
they'd probably land in a clump. So this is the opposite of that scenario.
Throw them one at a time.
It's a really bad analogy that we need to abandon fast. Okay.
Abandon ship.
So then between this and, again, another serious question, the jackalope, which we talked about last time.
A lizard versus a rabbit.
Yeah. I think it's been outclassed since the second the episode was conceived.
I don't know. I was gonna say lizard, or I was gonna say jackalope.
How?
It's a rabbit.
Oh, I suppose it was pretty ferocious, but the size difference, man. It's the size of a big rabbit.
Yeah, which was like
2 feet.
3 feet.
All right.
I'm giving it 3 feet. With horns.
The lizard is twice the size. It's venomous.
Shoot venom at
it. It allegedly has like a venomous odor.
It just breathes
poison gas.
Poison gas out of its mouth. It farts.
The blood is lava or
the blood
acid.
is lava.
The blood is lava. The blood is lava. It has teeth. It has claws. It can jump 9 feet in the air. The bunyip can jump. The bunyip, Christ! I keep thinking because it's a rabbit, I go bunyip. The jackalope can theoretically jump, but I never saw anything specific about how high or like that it was notable that it jumped. There was the thing with the jackalope was it was just like it's more ferocious than a rabbit, but there wasn't ever you were going to hunt it and you're putting fucking stovepipes on your legs. Like there wasn't a report of anybody getting killed by a jackalope.
It might accidentally scrape you with its horns that it doesn't know what to do with.
It's where HPV came from. Remove that joke.
SVP. Special vehicle.
All right,
permits.
so I am Tatzelwurm 100% on versus a jackalope.
I can't argue with that.
Okay, I'll say I need to let you just fucking lie in your bed instead of challenging you on stuff that I disagree with.
But then I wouldn't know your point of view. You pretty much explain where you're at, and then I'm just like, yeah, you're right.
All right.
You make a good argument there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we asked the exact same question last episode. I say week every single time. We asked the same question last episode.
Weekly.
It sounds like a lot of work. We asked the exact same question last episode about the jackalope and the black shuck.
You know what we thought.
Yeah, we were on the side of black shuck for sure, but
I'm not sure what you're doing if you're not.
We took to social media to ask what you guys thought, and here's
that.
What you thought.
Yeah.
Top 5 of one results.
So there it is. This is the 1v1 results portion of the show.
All right, what do we got?
All right. On Facebook, it was pretty obvious. They agreed with us. 10% jackalope, 90% black shuck.
That adds up.
Obviously.
What about Twitter? I think that was a little bit more divided.
Yeah, that one was just about split. 44% jackalope, but black shuck won.
I'm really glad that one came out. How about you go over to social media and answer this week's poll, which is now up. And
Tatzelwurm
and
Jackalope.
jackalope.
Ooh, yeah, the worm cat versus the rabbit deer.
So we got a dog and a rabbit, and then a rabbit and a cat.
Yeah.
Excellent. In addition to the results at the end, we do have another 5-star iTunes review.
Yes, this one is a great one.
Yeah, it's been some really good ones, so I appreciate that, guys.
Super
this
happy
one
with
is
the reviews.
Nessa Lunatic. 5 stars. The subject is all right, period. But she gave us 5 stars. I came across this podcast by chance while searching for podcasts about the Wendigo, which is my favorite cryptid, and was pleasantly surprised. It's a fairly good balance between comedy and information, but be prepared for pronunciations to be absolutely butchered and various tangential conversations. I highly recommend this podcast if you enjoy listening to two quote absolute legends talking about cryptids. Thank you for that review. You guys are making my life. You're validating everything that I do.
Yes. I'm officially changing my title to Legend Connor.
Connor the Legend.
Yeah. However you feel.
Excellent. I guess I'll try harder to not pronounce things so shitty for you, but
I mean,
now that's like part of.
That's a thing now.
Yeah, that's what you get. That's part of the show. We actually look up how to properly pronounce it so we can pronounce it wrong.
Yeah, we're like we know every time.
We're fishing
the
for people
right
to
word.
call us out on it, but it really that's the most we've been called out.
Thank you. It was Vanessa, correct?
It said Nessa.
Nessa. Okay.
I assume it was the
Nessa
Vanessa.
Lunatic. That's what it was. Okay. That's obviously what we're shooting for in an audience. Lunatic. So if you know any other lunatics, share the podcast with them. Add them to the group.
Yeah. Also, on that note, how about you go leave us a review on iTunes too?
Thanks for checking out this week's episode.
If you want to get your 2 cents in, answer this week's polls on social media.
You can find us on Twitter at Count Cryptid or Counting Cryptids on Facebook.
If you have any questions, concerns, suggestions, or you just want to chat, you can email us at countingcryptids@hotmail.com.
Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and tell your friends.
He's been Connor.
He's been Jacob.
And we'll see you in a couple of weeks for another fascinating installment of Counting Cryptids.